You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Purge appointee hand Trump's 19th straight laws in push for voter rolls based on an article by Matthew Rosa. Trump is not seeking voter integrity. He is testing how much election power he can seize. The real story, the reported fact is simple. Donald Trump's Justice Department lost again, this time in Colorado, bringing the administration's straight to 19 straight court defeats in its push to obtain state voter rolls. Judge Philip Brimmer said the federal government had no legal authority to override the states and try to purge voters from the rolls. That is the story. The rest is camouflage. Where power actually sits, the institutional power in this case belongs to Trump's administration acting through the Justice Department under Todd Blanche. The target is state election machinery because that is where voter access can be constrained, delayed, and chilled. The states are not the aggressors here, they are the jurisdictions being leaned on. This matters because the conflict is not between two equal interpretations of election administration. It is between a federal executive trying to expand its reach and state systems, interveners, and courts that are still saying no. A bureaucratic costume for a political project calling this voter reform is a lie of presentation. The pattern described here is not neutral administration. It is an attempt to collect sensitive voter data and impose federal control where Congress did not grant it and build an apparatus that can be used to make voting harder. Judge Brimmer's ruling calls to the costume. The United States, he wrote, had not shown the legal basis required for its claim. In plain English, the administration tried to force a power it does not have. Misdirection is the point. The usual trick is to make deliberate anti-voter behavior look like confusion compliance work or administrative housekeeping. That is how authoritarian products often travel in daylight as paperwork, not police raids. The source is clear that Trump's side keeps losing in court, that the effort continues. But persistence is a point. Repeated defeats do not mean the campaign is misguided. They mean the campaign is willing to spend political capital, time, and legal resources to keep pressuring the system until something does. Blanche courts and the empty claim of competence. Todd Blanche's apparent Senate Judiciary Committee clearance does not sanitize the record. The article notes the irony plainly. On the same day he advanced toward confirmation, reports emerged of his 19th consecutive loss in these cases. That is not a trivial footnote. It shows a government apparatus that is not merely overreaching, but failing repeatedly while still demanding more access. A normal administration would take repeated losses as evidence of bad law or bad faith. This one treats court defeats as a speed bump. The larger pattern. This is part of a broader authoritarian pattern. Lose the legal battle, keep the pressure of the institutions, and recast the attack as election administration. The goal is not just to win a single case. It is to normalize federal intrusion into voting systems, build capacity for suppression, and make democratic participation more burdensome for the people most likely to resist reactionary power. The courts are still blocking this one. That is the immediate fact. The deeper fact is that Trump's product keeps trying to turn the machinery of state into a weapon against the electorate itself. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternate for today's article with the automated voice of Diana. Thanks for listening.